Like, I always called it ear sex. At the time, it looked the size of like a New York City rat.
Okay.
It was like hanging and I flinched. And when I flinched, my whole kayak wobbled and I flipped. In the spring, they picked like 3 kids and they were like, we're gonna put you on scholarship after the spring if you guys perform, essentially. I think what college does is you get a shared mentality too.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I miss out on some student stuff, but like I'm so encapsulated in the football shit, dude, with the 100 people. Like it's 100 people and we're just mobbing along every day in a weird way. Not that I never wanted to do football, but like without that, like what do I desire?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Big Man's Cabana podcast. I'm your host, Matthew J. Lepore, and I'm on with a very special guest today, Mr. Stone Scarcelle.
What's going on, brother?
Dude, this has been much awaited, man. You're starting your own podcast, you're branching out, you're looking to get like a new job, right? And then yeah, dude, so let me ask you a question. We've been talking a lot about like podcasting and like getting into it. So like how has that whole world been now, like getting into it?
It's bizarre, dude, because you dive into it and you assume that you have like a perspective or an understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with anything, as soon as you start learning and understanding it more and more thoroughly, it's just the more you don't know.
Yeah.
And like I said, when we were talking, like in talking to you about your process, like you went through that amount of time of knowledge that I get to just take in and just like a 30-second convo. I'm like,
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like that's a lot of information,
dude,
that I needed.
YouTube University, dude. We had, me and my buddy Gavin, we had no one show us how to do this. We literally spent hours. Like I was YouTube University to the max with this whole thing. Like everything. Like I didn't understand Audacity. GarageBand was foreign.
Yeah, GarageBand, like the classic iPad GarageBand.
Yeah, I never touched it in my entire life. And then they're like, open GarageBand. And I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta re-download that. And so what's it like now having like a whole like building this platform?
I love it because I've always been very creatively influenced. I feel like I've always had just a instinct to kind of build something. So I feel like I've always kind of twitched or been into art or just wanted to make music or something. Yeah, like I've always wanted to curate something. So I feel like kind of putting like an artistic touch on it, it's hard to put it out there. So I feel like podcasting is a cool way to translate in a way, just like an artistic instinct and influence. Because I look at it kind of as a whole piece in a sense, and that's why it's so cool talking to you about it. Because I'm like, oh, it really can be this whole like project and thing. So I feel like just kind of diving at that. It's like finding a voice, obviously. Like I always like kind of say finding your bark as like a puppy.
Oh, that's good. No, I've heard that
mean?
before. Finding your bark. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I mean, it kind of is like that. You get to pull your buddies on. You get to have cool conversations you never thought you'd have, and like it's like, and plus, what's cool too is like you can look back in like 20 years and be like, yo, you can listen to all the conversations, the stupid stuff you used to say.
It's like all recorded.
So I think I asked this before, but what made you want to get into podcasting with things like that? Like why did you go podcasting as the choice?
I feel like there's always been an interest for me in like radio, voices. If you ever like in a car, I remember Sirius XM was like probably one of the first times I've ever heard. Like I always call it ear sex. It's like it's like you're in a car because like that's the first form of kind of like raw entertainment you get.
Sure.
You know who Howard Stern is.
Yeah.
Dude, hearing like Howard Stern as like a 10-year-old kid, probably way too young.
Mm-hmm.
But like just like the way he would have his show, how it sounded, who he had on, the stuff he would talk about, like I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like it doesn't even seem like it's a person. It's like this whole experience behind it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, dude, I loved that shit, dude. Howard Stern was sick. I feel like that was probably the first time, but like that's just like you're a little kid. It's not like I grew up was like I want to be Howard Stern, but like it was definitely like a cool influence.
Yeah.
But like I feel like there's so many different things that come into it, like music, like in different forms of art, like I was saying. But I feel like in terms of podcasting and stuff like that. I'd say my first influence would be like OG radio and kind of that OG radio kind of
Yeah.
convo,
Yeah.
like ear sex, dude. Just
It
sounds
is.
Too
It
good.
is pretty. No, dude,
Sounds
I
too
totally
good.
get it. And the one thing you're gonna see too is like once you start like figuring out and like playing with everything, like, oh, it sounds so much better, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like weird.
Yeah.
So have you? So you've listened to your own voice before with like Twitch and like
Fucking hate it. I fucking hate it.
you're gonna have to get used to it now, dude. It's so weird. Sometimes like, oh god, it's sometimes like I listen to it and like I'll have it open. Like I went to a coffee shop one time. I just need like a completely different like area. I was like, editing something, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, yo, I'm really just sitting in a coffee shop listening to myself talk. Like, what kind of asshole does
Yeah,
this?
like you look
And-
like the most like egotistic, self-centered ass. Like, hey man, what are you listening to? Like myself talk. I'm making it sound better.
Yes, but no, dude. Like, so have you gotten over that yet, or is it still like weird to hear your voice?
It definitely is weird. Like I'm fine with it. Like it's definitely something like you're right. You got to get used to and like you bear with it. And like it's something that I feel like everybody nowadays kind of deals with way more than the average human did in the past. Like nobody ever knew what their voice sounded like.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like nobody ever got to hear that. So now I feel like hearing it, I'm kind of used to it in a sense. I feel like I don't like it. Like I feel like if I could edit my voice how I edit like that, I'll be like, oh, let me just drop the treble.
Yep.
I'll just
That's gonna be a weird thing for you then too.
yeah.
Eventually, it's just not gonna matter. You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. So, do you have one record and everything like that, right? You're ready to just start launching like a bunch of episodes and things.
Yeah,
Oh man.
most definitely.
Yeah, so you were posting a lot on like Snapchat and things like that.
Yeah, I got just a few reels running. I've been in a hiatus because I had no phone for like a week.
How did that happen? Because you texted me and you were like, "Yo, dude, I'm texting on an iPad like an old grandpa." And then you're like, "Yeah, I got a phone." So like, what happened?
Dude, so I like outdoors activities,
Okay.
and I bought a kayak recently because I was like, I've always wanted the
nice.
kayak. You know,
Yeah.
always wanted the kayak. I went to Dick's. It was like $150. I was like,
Okay.
I'm buying that today. I'm buying the kayak today.
Oh, I know.
I bought it. So whatever, my birthday comes by. Like I'm gonna wake up 8 a.m., take it out on a lake, nice pristine morning, you know, whatever. I got to like the edge of this lake when I got out there. I was in Green Lane. I got to the edge of this lake, and like there was branches and rocks. It got kind of shallow, but I looked away for a second. There was a low hanging branch, and there was a spider. At the time, it looked the size of like a New York City rat.
Okay.
It was like hanging, and I flinched. And when I flinched, my whole kayak wobbled, and I flipped. And everything fell in. I didn't have much. I had a bag with like a tackle box, a water jug, and my phone. Everything slipped in. My phone got wet, so I ended up like swimming in 7 feet of water. I ended up finding it, and it was just fucked.
Oh,
But yeah, that was my that was 9:30 a.m. on my birthday.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I would have been irate. I would have been.
You just laugh at shit like that, dude.
Oh, dude, I would have been so mad at
I was
myself.
pissed.
Dude, see that's what you're way better than I would have been. I would have been pissed. People are like, "You okay?" I'm like, "No." Oh, dude,
There's
because
people across the lake like, what the fuck is up with that kid? Like I'm yelling, I'm like swimming in water.
oh god, I found it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. The one time I've ever like been early when I smashed my phone was like I was at the gym, and it was like sitting on the reverse hyper. I don't know if you know like what that is, but
Trying to think. Reverse hyper.
so we use like so you like put your stomach on the machine and then you kick back.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
So it fell off the thing, hit the
Glutes.
corner. Yeah, it hit the corner of like the one like thing on the ground, and it was just done. I was pissed. I was irate. I was like, oh, now imagine if I was in a kayak on my birthday.
Well, like yours seems a little more like, oh shit, like you
Yeah.
know, drop my phone.
Yeah.
Mine was like so self-inflicted, but it was so like it was such a long process to get to that point, dude. And it was crazy because I was like pulling rocks out of the lake. I was like, that's not a phone.
Just
Like that's not a phone. I'm like, oh, I got it finally, and then you know, paddled back.
Oh my god,
Yeah, it
dude,
was
I'd be
fine.
pissed. Did you at least get to like kayak throughout the day, or did you just
Nah, I was
shake it
like,
off?
dude, I was there
like,
for like another like 20 minutes, and I was like, all right, let me try to fish a little. I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Like,
I don't
was
have
just
no
like-
phone. My whole day's ruined.
But
Oh,
thank God. Okay, so this is why God works in mysterious ways. Thank God I left, because when I got there, I dropped my kayak in a part where you couldn't. You can get fined by the park ranger. They didn't tell me X amount of dollars for dropping your kayak there because it's a whatever. You can only rent them there. So I was like, fuck it. It's my birthday. It's 8 a.m. Nobody's here. I'm dropping it. Dropped it. When I came back, I had loaded everything up. And as I'm leaving, the trooper was like pulling it to the thing. I'm like, oh, he's just looking at me and like, da, da, da. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, God works in mysterious ways, man.
So okay. So if the trooper comes and he goes, so there's you're in the kayak. Can he like what can he do at that point? Like if he doesn't see the kayak.
This would have been the thing. If I was in a kayak, I only had one place to get back to my car. And that was where it was illegal to bring the kayak. So they were like, how'd you get that
I
here?
now see the point.
I was
Yeah.
like, I walked it. Like, I couldn't really, disguise it. So it was just, like, kind of.
Did he say anything or did you just dip
No,
out?
I just gave him a little head nod as I drove by and avoided what could have been a fine.
Oh, dude. How much was the fine?
The little kid wouldn't tell me.
Little kid wouldn't tell
He
you?
was the kid at the renting the kayaks to me. I was like, can I drop my kayak here? He's like, nah, it's a fine. I'm like, how much is this fine? He's like, I was like,
Oh, that kid knew, dude. That kid knew. He wanted you to get fined so bad.
yeah. I was like, I'm going to do it. Dropped it right in front of him. In front of all 30 of his little rentable kayaks. I said, nope, I bought my own.
Good for you. You know what? Good for you. You enjoyed your day, lost a phone, almost got caught by the cops. Oh,
Happy fucking birthday.
So now here today. So like what? So you went to Springford, did all that. That's where I've known you from, right?
Yeah.
And then you went to Marshall.
Yeah.
So how did that transition go from Springford then to Marshall? Switching from like a high school football, all that kind of stuff, all like the little Brubaker things you used to throw at everyone, and then go to like the big times.
Man, it's so weird now talking about it in retrospect because it's so recent and like such a vivid memory of mine. But it was cool, dude. Like going to Springford. Speaking of Chadwin, like definitely was a plus as a head football coach.
Yeah.
Did he grind everybody's gears? As does anybody. But that motherfucker knows how to run a football program.
Yeah.
And like in terms of transitioning from football to football, it was like it made sense because of how he kind of structured in it. Like if you attacked his process, the film study, whatever, everything, like it made sense to how it would work out at a Division I college per se, or any college, D2, D3. So like having him in like steadfast being how he was like it was perfect because like and like honestly like the first summer I was there as a receiver, people told me, oh, you won't pick up the playbook until a year in. I picked it up within the first summer, but that was because of how Brew ran, like how he ran his offense.
I remember.
It was 4 quadrant boards, 2 rear ones, 2 dummies, and then hand signalers, and then he was calling like that's high school, and you're running spread, you're running different personnel, and like
I never would have thought
it translated. So like when they threw it at me, I was like, oh, it's just the same.
I went through this for like how many years with some guy yelling at me as like a 16-year-old kid. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, but I mean, it takes fucking 15 years of football to look at an angry man as an 18-year-old and be like, this fucking asshole, fucking hate this guy. Like, who's this guy fucking chewing Nicorette? Like, whatever. Dude. But like,
I never found out about him chewing that until like of recent. Maybe it was you.
Because we try it now. Or,
Well, like, yeah, but like someone said.
It might have been me.
It might have been you. But it was like of recent. Someone was like, yeah, you know what? You always used to chew gum, but it was a nicotine gum. He was quitting. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I never would have thought about that because in high school I wasn't always thinking about nicotine. So like, I know vaping was around, but like, yeah,
barely.
Well, we had the whole vape. Wait, were you there for VapeGate scandal or no?
No, I forgot it was an entire entity. It definitely eliminated a lot of good players that camp.
But anyways, that's all high school. So now your first summer at Marshall, what was that like?
Dude, it's desolate down there. West Virginia is beautiful. Huntington is such a tight-knit school and town. Yeah. So everybody just brings you in like family. Oh, that's awesome. It feels like a real southern town for sure.
Oh, Southern hospitality is like a real thing.
Oh, it's 100% real. Yeah. It's not even hospitality at that point.
It's just family.
Intrusion.
It's intrusion.
Yeah.
So you're down there for like your first year. What was it like now being D1 football and then going to class?
It was interesting because the state definitely represented in the professors. Like you got people that were just like either from bum knuckle nowhere, or it's just like a person who's seen it all, been to every state, and is like the class is them selling you their book.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Professor Fondren. This book's written by Kristen M. Fond. Like, what? That's the same. That's your name.
It's your name.
You're funding yourself. But it was cool. Like, definitely some good eggs and bad eggs as professors. But like it was a dude. That school's on the rise.
Really?
Sick ass school. It's a sick school. They have so much to offer, but like, it's a West Virginia school for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I really didn't know much about it. You were actually the first person that brought it to my attention. Because I never really felt, because especially in high school, like, I really did not watch any football. Because the last thing I wanted to do on my Sunday was watch more football.
100%.
And especially with college too. So like when you went, I was like, Marshall, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So
you guys knew anybody else knew as much about Marshall as I did going there.
So what made you choose Marshall?
It was funny because I've had very limited offers coming out of high school, like D2s and like some AAs, but they're a D1 AA school is going to charge you $65,000 a year without an athletic scholarship. This is what they don't tell you. And they'll give they'll give student aid, but that's very seldom, especially depending on your socio background, whatever, socioeconomic, whatever the word is. I'm not educated to that essence.
No, you're good.
But yeah, so like I just didn't have the options in that essence, so I reached out to a few schools, just like D1. Like I've reached out to a bunch of schools, not a few.
Yeah.
And Marshall got back to me for a preferred walk-on visit, so I ended up going out there because I was in Massillon, Ohio. Massillon, Ohio is, I think it's north of Cincinnati. I was there for a quarterback camp. Massillon, Ohio. Massillon Tigers. They're one of the most celebrated high school football teams in history.
I did not know that.
They have the most, I think, state or national championships ever or something like that. Their stadium is enormous. They have an indoor facility with turf. Yeah, it's high school. But I was in Massillon, and from there to Huntington, it's like a 4-hour drive. So we ended up just taking the drive, visited. I got a preferred walk-on offer, and the tuition there at the time, which is crazy, was as much as like Westchester.
Really?
Yeah, out of state. Marshall was the same as like in-state Westchester.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense why you went there.
Yeah, and I got way more money from Marshall than any school. Dude.
Well, most schools, especially now, dude. I don't know if you've seen, but like, to get like student aid, like from the school, like scholarships and things like that, they don't give as much. It's a difference of like $3,000-$4,000 per scholarship. Like it's insane. Like they don't give as much money as they do now.
No.
Like they give less. Like I know when Jason, I don't know if you remember Jason, my little brother.
Yeah.
He's at Kutztown. Yeah. He had like a situation with one of his scholarships. It was supposed to be this, then it was this. And that's just how it happens. Like, Ursinus is a private school, and there's a lot of kids. I mean, their families are fortunate to be able to do that, but like a lot of kids weren't coming in or getting their scholarships just because they're like, well, this is just how it is. A lot of schools are doing that now.
That's crazy, dude. Ursinus is a really good school too.
Yeah, they are.
But just like I got so lucky because tuition there when I got there to when I walked on and earned a scholarship to now, tuition like 4 times, like 3 to 4 times. It's like I don't know, at Marshall I think it might be like 40-50 a year to go there.
Whoa.
Yeah, now crazy, insane, dude.
So okay, so you walk on, you go to your preferred walk on, and then you got a scholarship from that.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
That was crazy.
That's insane, dude.
It was crazy because it was like a trial and error too. Because in the spring they picked like 3 kids and they were like, "We're gonna put you on scholarship after the spring, if you guys perform." Essentially, like if you guys do well this spring, we'll earn you a scholarship. Like we'll give you a scholarship. And after that spring, me and a lineman got it, and they kicked the other kid off the team, and we were just like, and then there was actually 4 kids, and the third kid, who was another O lineman, they didn't put him on scholarship until the season started. So it was just like another, but yeah, we were just like, it was like, it was very gratifying, but like going into it, it was like, well, I guess this is it. Damn. Yeah.
So I'm sure you've seen those videos where all the football players are around. They're at like practice is ending.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he goes, all you guys were out last night. Whoever was working he worked for 6 hours. But guess what? He's on scholar. And then everyone like freaked out. And like, so was that what it was like, or was it just?
Yeah. So what I described was how my experience was, just like complete, just like, and then my friend actually, which is honestly how I wanted it. I wanted it to be like, you've earned it, but not that I'm saying the kids that get those celebrations didn't earn it, but like, I just don't know if I wanted to celebrate it as that. But then my friend did get that celly.
Yeah.
And it was the funnest fucking thing
That's
ever.
awesome.
Like, it was so cool. They had like this crazy video up, and everybody went nuts. They were like,
that's so cool.
His name's Murph. They were like, Murph, you got a scholarship.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, you basically just beat the kid up on spot. You start, it's like 100 dudes celebrating free school for you.
That's awesome.
You can't withstand the blows.
Dude, that's I see those videos and I'm like, that has to be insane, because I remember like even like in high school, the camaraderie you have with all these guys. But now imagine in high school where everyone is super serious about it.
Yeah,
you're here to play ball. I mean, obviously to go to school too, but these guys are all serious people about this, and you just got a big thing. I'm like, yo, that's a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, so much, dude, so much.
So first game, right? First game, you guys are getting ready. You're suiting up. You're about to walk out. Like, what were you feeling like in that locker room? Your first game.
First college football game, dude. It was crazy because me and my family were just talking about it because it was in Miami of Ohio.
Oh man.
Ben Roethlisberger, I think, played there. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that. Oh, I've Ben Roethlisberger. I am not of where he went.
I don't know. No, I think that's wrong. But it was in Miami of Ohio. There was like a 3.5 hour thunder delay, and we took a bus to that game too. So it was like basically this like it was a 2-hour bus ride, 3-hour thunder delay, and then at that time I was really only playing special teams. I specialized in holding up the long snapper.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So really rough job, dude.
Really, really rough job.
This fucking long
You're still
snappers.
playing D1 football though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I couldn't do it. I was never that good to ever play D1 football.
Yeah.
So I do. That's still. The fact that you even got to touch the field is like sick, dude.
Yeah, that was I remember that first snap. It was crazy. It was cool.
Oh,
it was cool. Some fat fucking fuck. Not like you. You're not a fat fuck. He was a fat fuck. He had nothing going for himself.
In no way, nothing offense to that.
He doesn't do what you do.
I constantly call myself fat. It's fine. It's all good.
My brother was like, call Matt a fat fuck today. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, dude, I say it all the time, especially when my coach is on here. He's just like, Matt, like, just because you bench 500 pounds doesn't mean you're not a fat fuck. I'm like, thanks, Zach.
So that's a recurring thing.
Oh yeah, it's just a recurring thing.
It's just this chair. Somebody's just coming out.
Yeah, it's just that's just kind of what happens. It's just it's fine.
Love it.
But yeah. So I didn't. Oh god. So anyways, as you're going through now, let's like fast forward to your third year, right? You've been here. You've been immersed in this for 3 years. You've been going to school, doing your classes. You're an up and coming junior. Like, what is that like going into your junior year camp for like the summer?
Wow, that's a great timing for that because that was my best performance year as well.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but like honestly, it's weird looking at that season in retrospect. It's like what happened for that year to have gone so well? It's really cool to look at that. And I feel like you have to separate a bit to see. And I feel like it really wasn't anything different when you look at it. I think it's just like a timing thing and just how stuff clicks and just like who's around and what's happening, especially in football where it's such just like an ebb and flow game.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was just like a lot going on as a team off and on the field to where like we had a chemistry going. and it was new staff and everything, and just like at that point you've done it so long where it's like muscle memory, like
Yeah.
so that stuff just like you're just
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
shit, like there's and then the craziest thing is when you get to that age too. So at that point I'm what 23, 24.
Yeah.
And there's kids coming into school that are 17, 18, and you're like, holy shit.
Oh, it's right. I forget that they are that
You
young.
forget that doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Like people like
Mm-hmm.
coming in, like you're not the last thing gonna be there. Like there's continually coming people in. So that's the weird part too. Like it's cool because like, oh, I've been here. Like I'm the guy now. Like I'm gonna play. I'm gonna contribute. But then it's like, holy shit. Like I'm kind of on my way out.
Mm-hmm.
There's some young cats
Yeah.
under here. Like I think that's the weird transition of that older year.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That had to feel weird too.
So weird because you got these little bratty 72-year-olds like,
Yeah, I'm
stores,
Yeah,
like,
7v7 like on their shirts and things like that.
yeah, like you suck.
Yeah.
Like-
now let me ask you a question. Now looking at that as you are the man,
I was not the man. I'm saying,
I'm just saying
the man in any aspect.
I'm just saying. Okay, so as a older person on that team, right?
Yes.
Looking at those kids, did you ever like think about like when it was opposite? Did you ever like walk in there thinking, yeah, I'm the shit?
Fuck yeah, dude. You walk in. Well, this is what happens because when you look at that, the two things happen. It's like, man, these fucking little kids, like, you look at it like, man, I must have been super annoying as a little kid. And then you look like, you go into that kid's head, you're
Yeah.
like, I must look like just like fresh out of prison, 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm just like, yeah, man, same shit every day. Just like another day in practice.
Just another day.
Yeah, you're just like sipping a protein shake, crushing it on your head. And these kids are like, and you're just like cursing. And it's like the banter in the locker room is so irate. And everybody's half naked. And there's just the worst music playing.
Oh,
so like
God.
it's just such a shocking environment to a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
So a young kid has to like, like you what's the word? You like kind of you have sympathy for the
Yeah.
kid to have this big ego because he goes into it and he's like, holy shit, like this is this like huge operation.
You guys just crush them.
Yeah, and then
Just
we
crush
just
this
crushing the bitch. We're like, it is, and you're nothing. Like you will never be nothing, or you will always be nothing. You will never be nothing. Nah, but like you definitely get a little sympathy for the kid. You're like, oh yeah, like we definitely look like some behemoth, scary men right now.
Yeah. Plus, it's also like you guys are also what 3, 4, 5 years older.
Yeah,
At the time.
yeah.
So
yeah.
that's got to be weird too.
It's
for
like
those
people
kids.
with kids and shit.
So I forgot that like existed. Like when you go through a college, you kind of like you can have kids, but then you see it and you're like, oh wow, I really am at that like age
Yeah,
where like kids kind of pop up.
I think there's special cases, but then it's just like I remember coming to school, dude, and there was people with multiple kids already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, holy shit, like, and then it happens as you go through college, because college, you're right, is like the time where kids literally just pop out. It's
And
like,
shit
oh, it's like, well,
Especially on Instagram too. Now you can see everyone.
people are fucking.
People are fucking.
People are having sex, which is good because we need to.
Yes.
Because that's what we're here to do, to reproduce.
And that's it.
That's
You're just
it.
gonna eat, reproduce. What's the code? It's like pay. It's shit. Pay your taxes and repopulate or whatever. It's
Yeah.
something stupid, but
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I think I got lucky because I wasn't immune to sex in college,
okay.
but I got out scot-free, you know.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Good.
but not that even if I didn't, it would have been a bad thing. That's a blessing.
Having a kid, yeah,
Yeah, dude.
it's a terrifying experience.
I had yeah, it is. Like you always tell your friend like, oh, who has a kid, you're like, man, I have like you got such a good kid, man. And they just look at you with that hairy eyeball. They're like, yeah, you envy me.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Never mind.
Yeah. I was just saying with one of my friends. I'm not gonna say her name here, but like she just had a kid, and I was like, oh, that was so cute. And she goes, wait till like 3 a.m. when he wakes you up for the 3rd time, and I'm like, I'm gonna shut my mouth now
Yeah.
before you bitch slap me in Costco.
Yeah, because it's not all.
Yeah.
We're looking at it through rose-colored lenses.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should keep the strict view that our mothers enforced on us. Because all my sex was protected.
I'm proud of you that I believe that.
Yeah.
Good
Every
for you.
single one, man.
God. Oh my God. Anyways, so
It's on the record. Nobody could challenge.
so Threw me totally for a loop. So going into your last year, right? You're now looking at the end. You can kind of see the light of the tunnel, but the only really experience that I have is through high school. So I'll try to relate to you this way. Is like I remember like one of our last games. It doesn't really hit you until like your last game. Like you know it's coming, and you're kind of like, damn, like this is the last Marshall helmet I'm gonna wear. Yeah. The last time I'm putting the jersey on. I don't want to, I don't want to break. He starts tearing up. But like, what was that like 2 weeks before that last game? Like, because I know you kind of guys prep for it. So like 2 weeks before that last game, what was it like?
So our last game was in a bowl game in Conway, South Carolina, at Coastal Carolinas Field. We played UConn.
Okay.
And usually bowl games, you do have those 2 weeks to prepare, and it's like you just try to be where your feet are. Mm-hmm. And our coach he was sick at that because he would just drill into you, be where your feet are, be where your feet are.
I love that.
Just like enjoy the moment and the space and the time that you have where you're at, because you're not going to get that back.
Dude, you just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, dude.
That really, yeah.
Yeah, dude. And like I literally live by this like every day. And it's like when you do that leading up to something that's your last, when it's happening, you're actively doing it, and then it's just like, all right, like you have like a very kind of like overwhelming, but like not content, but like it's like,
yeah,
it's not like seeing the light, but yeah, but it's sick because like going into that week, it was bowl week, like I got annihilated at this bowl game. Oh man! But it's in South Carolina in December. Yeah. There's nobody there, so we're just going to like Senior Frogs.
Yeah.
And I just got like blacked out the first night. I like woke up at 9 in the shower. I was like, oh, whoa.
You woke up in the shower?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All my friends can attest to this. I was in a way, but I was rock solid that next day, baby.
Oh my God! I'm actually impressed. Baby. I don't do good when I black out. Next day, I'm chalked.
Dude, I had I think I might have woken up earlier. We had a 9 a.m. meeting. I literally had. It's not even my friend. I literally had glasses on inside the entire time. I'm pretty sure I got really, really high prior as well to the meeting. Vaporization, obviously, sufficient. Doesn't smell.
Fair.
And I just thugged it out, dude. I grabbed a coffee. And, like, people were josing on me, coaches and all. And I was just like, I'm solid, baby. Went to a practice at, like, 10:30, 11, thugged it out, went out the next night.
Oh.
Literally did a football practice. Like, it was crazy.
Dude, how?
I mean, they're not crazy football practice. They're, like, walk-through kind of things. Yeah. But you're still in pads and shit. It sucks to be out there.
Dude, I am, like, a 65-year-old grandpa who just, like, got punched in the face by a bus. Then when I black out like that, I'm just, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm impressed. I couldn't do that. I would not be able to thug it out like that. I'd be a pussy.
So going to my last game, having fond memories like that, it just made it the best.
That's awesome, dude. I love that quote. Be where your feet are.
Yeah. I think that resonated through that week. Just being where your feet are, it just made it so blissful. There's the word.
Blissful.
Yeah. It was a blissful ending to my football career.
So how did that feel like once you got back to the locker room?
Oh, we were lit, smoking a cigar. It was fucking awesome because like I never really got to be that old senior holding the bowl trophy. Like I'm on my like it's like it's kind of like it's like a stock image that every senior football player wants to have. It's like bowl game trophy, cigar in locker room,
sunglasses.
I'm that fucking dude. Yeah, like
now that's cool.
So I feel like that was cool, and then like I think a week goes by and you're like, wow, I'm really done. And like it's just kind of crazy. It's a crazy feeling, but like you definitely feel like, thank God I'm fucking done. Like it's a good relieving feeling because you know you don't have that strictness. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought you'd been like, you know what? Honestly, like I'd go back.
Oh, I definitely would. Okay. In a sense, I think I'm happy to be done, and you always have an itch. Like, you always have that itch to want to go and do something. Like, right now, especially not doing camp in a season for the first time, I feel insane. Like, I feel crazy. Like, I always feel like I have to
you need to do something. Okay.
Yeah, like, I'm just, like, always kind of having to have a task or something. Like especially during the times where I feel like I would practice, I feel like out of place in a sense. I'm like, I need to be doing something.
So have you found like some kind of like avenue, or are you
Dude,
just?
honestly, podcasting in a sense.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it.
It's like honed me in and slowed me down
Really?
because I was always go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to just like slow down and be like, okay, like now it's just me and like my directions.
Yeah.
Like, because football always was like a vessel, and it
Yeah.
brings you to a certain point, kind of drops you off
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways. So I felt like now that it's brought me to like at this point in my life to where I'm not going to use it anymore.
Yeah.
Like athletically, I feel like looking at other stuff like podcasting or like even just literally the simple part of me being like a better son and family member is like that is like fun to me.
Yeah. That's cool.
Cause like it's like
So positive. This is great.
yeah,
This is
it's like self gratifying to like, and it's hard. Like I'm not perfect. Like I'm still a shitty person sometimes. Like I
Yeah,
do
me too,
shitty
yeah.
shit. Everybody does shitty
Yeah.
shit. But like it's cool to like be there now
Mm-hmm.
because it's been so long where I was like not home
Mm-hmm.
for 5-6 years. I was not home for my birthday or Thanksgiving. Like from August, essentially. Well, basically August to December, I'm not home for 6 years. So it's like
Yeah.
that balance of coming home and like being able to just circulate now.
No, how was that like? Is it your first week back at home after being go go go? Like, what was it like? Like waking up and just not having like you can wake up at 12 o'clock. There's no consequences.
Yeah, dude, I was fat fucking slob, dude. Like I still am like I still have like, and I'm okay with some of my slob tendencies,
Yeah.
but like I just get to kind of like unreal.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of figuring out like what I actually want to do in a weird way. Not that I never wanted to do football, but like without that, like what do I desire? You know what I mean? Like it's cool to.
That's such a that's like for me that would scare me if I had to like.
Oh, it's scary as. It's like that's the part they don't like but like that's the part like I feel like is untold is like it's scary in a sense because like you're navigating just nothing like you're rowing and not knowing if you're gonna tip or not or some like you're just like you don't know where it's going.
That is
Yeah.
terrifying.
But like you know that the process that got you along the way, like it geared you up with
Yeah.
stuff and things to be able to like navigate the open water. So it's just like a matter of like understanding what you've done and like how it can like continue in a weird way. Like it's like a weird. That's why I'm
Yeah.
navigating myself.
Dude,
right
you
now.
are very. Anyone ever tell you like you're very intelligent. You articulate your words very well.
I
I followed you
I've
in
been
the
in school
entire.
for 6 years.
That's fair. So
Thank you, but thank
no,
you,
you're
though.
good. You're good. You're good. So aside from football, like, what was your major walking into there? Because obviously, like, football's a big thing. Like, I mean, physical and mental.
Yeah.
You know. So what was your major walking into there?
Geology.
Oh man.
Thanks to Dan Leopold. He literally like sparked my interest. I was like, this shit is sick.
I totally forgot that man existed. I
Yeah.
feel bad. I'm sorry if you hear this, but
I still talk to him.
really,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I still talk to him here and there. But cuz he does like all the shit he's about is like stuff I love. Like
Yeah.
this rocks and like earth and just like science and like I love different aspects of that. So I feel like I went into school like my name's Stone, geology, rocks.
Yeah.
Let's do it. But then
Stone Geology, right?
yeah, I was like, let's do it. I guess it was kind of shallow way of thinking of it. Well, whatever.
No.
Yeah. But like then it got to the point to where the labs that I would have had to take interfered with practice. And I'm an athlete student at that point, not a student athlete. So I changed it to healthcare management. And I ended up getting a double major in that and management because of the undergrad courses I had took in geology. Because of they were
nice.
science or whatever.
Nice. So you just said you're an athlete student and a student athlete.
Yeah.
Now, because the way we always did with strongman was like, obviously it's not connected with the school. Like even with nationals and like the and all the other things we did, it was always like school first. So like there, you're an athlete student. So how does that work?
I think in the NCAA as a whole, you're an athlete student. The
Oh
the
man.
term student athlete, who it was coined by. Me and my roommate used to talk about this. Who's also an extremely smart dude. He, the person who coined student athlete, like does not like the term. He like bashed his own term and was like it was a mistake to make this. Basically, like the description of how it embodies like what a student athlete does is like incorrect, and it misserves us now. Like it didn't age well essentially.
How do you
So
mean?
I'm not like I forget how specific he was about certain stuff, but I can't remember what exactly. But he just misrepresent like in a way like how he coined it just didn't pan out like
Okay.
how he thought it was going to be perceived in a sense.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And just with
Yeah.
like student athletes in general and all sports, dude, from baseball to women's sports and all NCAA. But like it's it's all sports are athlete driven and all schools, bigger schools are athlete driven.
Oh, dude, look at Penn State.
Where do they get their funds from, dude? Athletes, wrestling, dude. Penn State's wrestling program.
The best.
Are you kidding me,
I know.
dude? People who don't watch wrestling at all will turn on the TV and be like, "That's Penn State wrestling."
Yeah.
Because they just won again.
Yeah.
Those
I know.
fuckers.
I follow them every year. I follow every little thing about them. They're one of the most interesting people that I think in the entire world.
Wrestlers?
Wrestlers in general, but just Penn State.
Yeah,
They're just like when I was telling you before with Bo, when we went to those camps, I would solely look forward for the school year to be over to go there.
Yeah.
Because the things you would learn, just like the mentality of these people, like that's why I have so much like respect for you for like doing D1 football. Because it's like there's so much articulation you have to do just to step onto a field, to walk onto a mat. This lifting, this practicing, this studying. It's insane.
Yeah.
The mentality, like being able to get up at 6 o'clock, being able to be at practice on time, being able to like, okay, you can't just be like a normal college student. You can't just do what I did. And, oh, okay, 8 a.m., just go there. And then, okay, I can hang out, do some homework. But like, no, you're going to your 8 a.m., then you're studying for your games, then you're studying for your actual school. And it's cool to see like these people who have this mentality. It's enticing. What's the word? Oh man,
Say invigorating or
invigorating.
Yeah,
That's a great word.
I don't think that was the word you were thinking.
There wasn't, but it's fine. We'll run with it and pretend like I was thinking that.
Yeah, I think like with that, I think what college does is you get a shared mentality too, and like I miss out on some student stuff, but like I'm so encapsulated in the football shit, dude, with the 100 people. Like it's 100 people and we're just mobbing along every day doing the same shit. So when you do get the chances to break out and like be a free student, like you're doing with those people and you don't feel like you're like at a loss of like relationship or time because like you're just like, all right, this is my turn of time. And like, in a sense, like you do miss, like you don't get to party like a student essentially, but like you still get that, like, because you're with the team. So like you have that same like grind. So like it makes it easier. That's why I feel like track or something would be like the hardest thing because it's just like you.
Yeah.
Or like like even like that wrestling, to your point, like.
Well, they don't party at Penn State. They're not allowed to.
Yeah, but like I'm saying for like like you're dolo, like wrestling, you're by yourself. You have a team, you have weight classes. You're by yourself, dude.
That's why I always love the sport because it's like you have to. So like, okay, if you want to go on like a mat, right?
Which I would never.
I'm not saying like 1-on-1. I'm saying like on a team, right? So it's like me, you, Blaze, and like we're all on the same team. But then it's like, you know, I have to worry like you have to beat him. So like there is like that team aspect, but then it really does turn out to be just you, some other sweaty ass dude, and
trying to
spandex.
humiliate you.
It was worth thinking, dude. There was a lot of there's a lot of stuff on like Twitter if you follow like a lot of like the college wrestling, like they talk about like embarrassing these people on the mats, just like launching them into air. It's insane.
That would be the worst.
I don't know, man. I would love to get thrown by like Bo Nick. You know how cool that would be?
No, I've gotten thrown, dude. I've gotten thrown plenty of times. I feel like I'm cool with being thrown as long as I don't land on my neck or something. Like I feel like I see the wrestlers, like I'll get slammed because sometimes you get slammed. You're like, oh.
You know, Dorsey slammed me on my neck on Christmas Eve. Like Zach Dorsey,
Yeah.
no hate, like hey, really cool dude. Like don't want you guys to like think, but he didn't mean to. Well, no, because I don't want, because he
At
really
the time,
is.
he
He
was
really,
mad.
no, it wasn't even like in a mean way. He was just so strong,
That motherfucker was a load,
dude. So Christmas Eve, I was a freshman, and I was a freshman or sophomore. Yeah, I was a freshman. I got brought up to the high school team.
That's
And,
right.
And he has my leg, and coach goes 1, 2, 3, and he like I was supposed to like break out of it, but I wasn't as strong as him. Just wasn't that. And he threw my leg, and I did a full flip in the air on my neck. Was in the hospital that night.
What? Really?
Yeah, they gave me like a brace and some like medicine, and then 2 days later I was fine. Like it all actually worked out. I mean, I was young and malleable, so it was cool. But they had to stop practice, like size off. Hey guys, what you doing at Lepore? And it was like a whole yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, he didn't.
Nothing happened to your neck.
No, I got lucky.
Holy shit.
I mean, it was stiff. It hurt like for a day or two. Like, I had to go to school the next day on like a little neck brace.
Okay.
But then like Zach walks in and he goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry. Like I love you, bro." I'm like, "It's all
That's
cool, dude."
exactly how he talks.
But dude, he actually is a really nice guy. Like
I love Zach. Zach was awesome because I hung out with Bryce a lot.
Yeah,
I
Bryce.
hung out with Bryce all the time.
Yeah, but no, it was cool. It was just funny because you said getting dropped in your neck, and I'm like, I did get dropped in my neck.
Dude, they were big dudes. They were both big dudes, man. Big bullies.
Yeah. No, he was always cool. Yeah, but that was years ago now. So you finish out. What was your first job getting out of college?
Dude, I was in medical sales. I was in device sales for this company. But my commute was nuts. My commute
Isn't that where you're? Oh, you're going to ADT now, or 80,
I work at ADP now.
ADP now.
Yeah, dude, my commute was like 2 hours a day, basically, because I was driving to it was different, but I would drive to Perth Amboy, Red Bank, New Jersey, North Jersey, Central Jersey, every day, and then drive amongst the state for several hours, just going to different hospitals, manning different surgeries, moving supplies around and moving shit around. And it was just so much. They were paying for my gas. I was getting paid decent, but I was like, this is an enormous.
Absurd.
Yeah, it's just absurd. And I was just getting thrown around by my adversaries. And it was just not. It was not the environment that I needed to be a part of, especially fresh out of college as a first job. I was like, this isn't stable. There's no stability.
That's a lot.
To this, yeah, and it was a lot. So I took, which is the complete opposite, a Fortune 500 job, and it's digital sales. It's way more manageable. I like it way more. It's fixed schedule. Don't work weekends, which is because that's with the old job. I was working on call on weekends.
You were on call.
Yeah,
on
it was
weekends?
paid, but I wasn't even legally allowed to, and I don't give a shit about saying it because it's not my fault. It's
What do you mean?
yeah, because I was in surgeries, with materials, and didn't do training on them. They were like, "Should I use this?" I'm like, "Looks good." Looks good, but it's in a sense dummy proof on the design of it. So there's millions of reps that this happens to in a sense, but there was a lot of stuff adding to it. There was commute, it was just everything. But that's the
2-hour commute.
yeah, it's the body of the job though, is being in a fucking total knee surgery.
Oh my god.
Just being yep, that looks good.
Keep
Yeah.
cutting. You're down. I would have done it differently.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it like that. Then how you done it? Made it a little thicker. Don't you see that old lady's knee? She's got nothing on there.
So you've seen surgeries.
Oh, fuck yeah. I've seen some shit. I worked there for 6 months. I saw some shit. Literal shit.
What is?
They call it Code Browns.
Is that what they call?
Dude, I looked at these nurses.
Dude.
I said, what? It was this fucking lardo man who did not care about his life. When you get the IVs, you just droop and relax.
Yeah.
So sometimes these people who don't clear out their systems before surgery, which you're supposed to do,
Yeah.
they have Code Browns. And Code Yellows usually come with Code Browns. I saw some nasty Code Browns, bro.
Dude.
and I'm not supposed to touch anything, so I just stand there and watch. You have to watch like some 60-year-old nurse just like wipe shit off a sleeping man's ass who's butt naked.
I'm
and
sorry
like,
I'm laughing.
no,
just-
it's hilarious.
Okay,
I'm just
cool.
like immune to it now because I've seen it 1,700 times, and their dicks flopping back. And I swear, dude, it's all in everybody's face, and nobody. It's just like a bunch of serious people, and just they're just like, dude, I swear, it's just a bunch of serious people in an OR. Yeah, they're just like, all right, you good? I'm just like, besides the stench that's trapped under my mask, I'm fine. Like, this dude is the fucking worst.
So aside from your code browns and your code yellows, what's like some other crazy shit you've seen like surgery wise?
I'd say just the total joint replacements, dude. Those are nuts.
Really?
Like, if you have a family member that has a total hip replacement or a total knee replacement, I could basically tell you how and what is in it.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy shit. Crazy shit, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was okay. So
It
first,
was cool. It was intriguing.
well, that's what I was gonna ask. Like how'd you feel the first time you saw one?
You know, you have that thought, like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to pass out. Everybody's like, hey, first guy here.
First is it
He's
first
going to
one?
pass out. And, like, literally within, like, the first 5 minutes of the surgery, I'm, like, in there with a notepad, like, 5 minutes, like, 5 feet away from it. I was intrigued, dude. I was like, this is the coolest shit ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I feel like we're immune. GTA, Call of Duty, you just see, like, this
Yeah.
all the time. So it's like when you see it properly done with the correct measurements, you see it opened, tweaked, replaced, closed, and like it looks better afterwards. You're like,
Oh, it's cool.
this is like Mona Lisa. It's like, oh, this is not so bad.
It's like what's weird is like growing up. Like, you ever watch like the like really gory videos you'd see on like social. You know what I'm talking about?
The dude jumping off a power line.
Those. Some guy getting like beheaded by like
Yeah,
ISIS.
the cartel.
The cartel.
Did you see the girl? She's an Alabama girl. She joined ISIS.
Recently?
I think this was a time ago.
Oh.
And now she's trying to leave and come to the United States.
Oh. I remember. Wait. Oh, was it this was like back when the ISIS was big, and then she wanted to like join them because all those videos were coming out, and she was like feeling that like America wronged them, and
she's trying to come back.
Recently. Oh my
I
god.
think she's trying to come back recently.
Oh man. Wonder how that worked out for her.
Can't let her back.
Can't let her back. She chose her side.
She chose.
Oh god, dude, there's so much shit on the internet, dude. There was a kid just recently, past like a couple of days. I don't know the exact thing. I'll try to send it won't be like the actual like gore photo, but it'll be like the New York Times article.
Yeah.
But he chopped his mother's head off and like dismembered her body, and then posted a picture of him holding her head. It's all over everywhere. Like I couldn't find the actual like photo, but like there's the actual photo on like the New York Times' page, Inquirer and all that kind of stuff, and he's holding it, and there's the kids, and he's like happy. I'm like, yo, like people are like talking about like
There's levels to that, like
there's
being. What's the word? Conditioned.
conditioned.
There's
yeah.
levels to that conditioned shit.
See, things like that freak me out.
Yeah.
Plus, like right now we have the murderer
On the loose, like literally, as we're sitting here talking, there's some
He's
guy
in our area.
Dude, so did you hear that he got in a scrap with a man who had a rifle?
Yeah, he has a 22 with a scope. Yeah.
And he took it.
Yeah.
And he's on the loose with it now.
Well, the guy was even shooting at him. He got off like 7 shots, didn't hit him at all. They think Cavalante is Cavalante. Doesn't matter.
We need to figure. It's crazy. He's like a famous. It's like an outlaw now,
Dude, he escaped on the 31st of August. Today's the 12th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. We're living through some times.
Yeah, and like now that since we're on the topic, me and my buddy, I told you before we started this, we did an emergency episode, to post, and he killed a woman in Brazil, which is the reason he's here.
Yeah.
But he was never an official immigrant, so he's illegally here. Then he killed a woman, which I think the resources say that like, the reason he probably did it was she found out about that. And then he killed her to keep it silent. But because he killed her in a bad way and then did it in front of her 2 children, it was just no getting out of it. And then, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's wild. And they can't technically deport him because he's not a legal immigrant. So there's like a whole situation happening, and then like his sister. Yeah, it's just it's.
This is where, like, there should just be stuff that doesn't apply to individuals that are doing stuff like that. I know I sound like Larry the Cable Guy, but this motherfucker needs to be like, there needs to be a bear trap or something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, dude, trust me, I'm telling you, yeah. Cause the thing is like he was even saying like he would have done the children too, like, and now he's running around like an area which is like very like residential.
It's highly populated too.
Yeah, and it's like, cause there's a map. I'll put it up on the green screen for everyone, but like, there's like Longwood Gardens, like the place where like the prison he escaped. Then there's like a yellow line that's in the Inquirer right now, and Collegeville is right over the line in the area where he could be. Right over by like Nemmeet is where he was last sighted, but he was supposed to travel the opposite way, so like he could be heading back into this area. Like there's a whole thing. I was like, if you're above this line, Collegeville's right here. The line's like right here, and they're like, keep your doors locked. Like,
dude, I've literally the past few nights because like my dad's been out of town. Been sleeping with the fucking Glock by my bed.
You
bro.
should.
Been sleeping with a Glock by my bed, every door locked. I go out at night. I hold the Glock with no clip in my pocket. I don't know. It makes me feel safe.
That's fine.
Whatever it does.
Well, see, you're a rational human, so like, it's, and I mean that like sincerely, because like, you're not gonna, they're gonna like, oh, someone's got a gun, he's fine. They're not gonna do anything to anyone else.
Yeah,
but if you see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, but like,
completely.
Yeah, okay, it's cool. Because at first I'm like, I don't think he's on the same page as me. Then now he is. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's wild because like I think I just recently had a constable on from Norristown, Dave Biesecker, and he was telling me about it when it first happened, the day or two after. And he goes, yeah, this is like really scary. Like people should be talking about this more. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, here's why. Tell me all like the stuff about him. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, like he just doesn't care. Like he'll do it again. It was just time and place it wouldn't happen. I was like, dude, that was the 1st or 2nd, I think it was, of September. Now we're like 10 more days
still talking about his freedom.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. Man, imagine, like, this is where I, like, not putting myself in somebody, like, this guy's shoes, but, like, if I could just be a fly on the wall to, like, where he's at right now. Mm-hmm. Like, what kind of fucking Red Dead Redemption shit is he on right now?
Dude, it's $30K to find him, too, right now.
$30K?
They started at 10, which is what the constable was telling me. And then like up to 15, and then it was 20. Then it was just recently at 25. But after when he was in this area, they're like, and they found the van, and then they very fastly realized like they're no closer. Like they know around where he is, but there's no closer. Like physically grabbing him, they up to 30.
What are you doing after this? Go make some money. No, dude, I was driving back from Allentown because that's where I'm working at now, and I was on 29 going south. Mm-hmm. Towards Green Lane.
I know where you're at.
Yeah. So, dude, 12 different cop cars. Like, different cop cars. One real, like, each undercover was a different one, and then, like, a few other ones, like, just zoomed by me in the line. And I was like, that's where I'm going.
Like, please don't tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And it's a heavily wooded area, too. And the thing was, there was another murderer or some kind of convict who was in the Longwood Gardens area, and the reason he was able to, they ended up getting him because he was stupid, but he was in that Longwoods Garden area, like Cavalante was, and they had no idea where he was. It's just so heavily wooded. There's nothing they could do about it. And now he's just running freely around Pennsylvania.
And he's probably got a good tick on, like, direction and getting through forest, because where is he from? Fucking Brazil, man. They got some thick forest down there. And I was listening to a radio show that he is wanted more in Brazil than he is in America.
Yeah.
But if you go to Brazil, you're going to get beheaded.
Yeah. You will. Yeah, dude. But, we just did a little over an hour, man.
No way.
Yeah, I swear on my life.
We're just shit talking.
We're just shit talking.
I love how we ended on murders.
Yeah, no. Well, I was like,
kept getting darker.
Well, I was following, and I was like, oh man, dude, I want to keep talking about it, but like, because I try to stick with like the hour time frame.
Yeah, dude.
But Well, dude, seriously, thank you for your time. This was awesome. All right, guys, Stone Scarcelle, Mr. Football Star, and then coming now, and he's doing the cool and better things under selling a bunch of stuff. So if you guys want to get in contact with him, ask him questions of what it's like, taking the football route, just being in college, or just see how cool he is, they can reach you. What's your Instagram?
It's just my name, Stone.Scarcelle.
Cool. And that will pop up right under him. You guys will see. So, guys, tune in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He'll be on here plenty much. And check out his new podcast. That's in
Dons with Bonds.
Dons with Bonds. Guys, check it out. I know you're on Spotify. I know all your stuff was up. Just keep posting. I'm sure he'll have a whole bunch of things out too. So if you guys are seeing it, if it's out by the time this runs and all this stuff's like official, we'll put it in the description so you guys can go check it out.